literal shack, and they have stolen all of her stuff. And one of the ladies had brought her a skirt, and she was just like on her knees, like giving thanks, like how it makes you think about how blessed we are
Right.
and how ungrateful we are.
Right.
Brand new, brand new. She done gave her life to God. Now she acting.
Hi, girls and grays. Thank you so much for clicking this episode for our podcast. Season 2 has been amazing because we have real people to chat with and just get all into the topic. And today's topic is all about having a servant's heart. So I'm hopeful that you are listening with an open heart and have a notebook so you can take notes with the practical tips that our special guests will be giving to you all. And just know that God has called us to love one another as we love ourselves. So thank you so much to our special guest. I call her T, but her name is Miss Tiandria. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to Girls and Grace. Are you excited? Because we're excited to have you.
Very excited. Been talking about it since you asked me.
Really? I love it. I love it. I catch people attention sometimes when they'll be like, I have a podcast, and they're like, for real? How do you do it? I'm like, I just record talking.
So exciting.
Thank you. Well, this episode is so special to me because I consider you as like my mentor in the field of missionary work because you have a history of doing not only missions but just outreach in general. God has gifted you with that in your heart, and so I'm hopeful to just get information not only for Girls and Grace but even myself, just learning more about your testimony and how God called you into this field. And I love that, you're unapologetically yourself. You wear your hair how you wear your hair. You carry your bags. You do you. And it's so authentic to who God has made you to be because young women need to see that there are female missionaries. There are women out here that are doing the Lord's work beyond their home state. And so I'm excited to just get into this conversation. So thank you so much for sharing what God has placed on your heart.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So we'll just get right into it. So just tell us about your experience in missions and outreach, and how did God call you into this field?
Well, I feel like God called me when I was just young and watching my grandmother. So we went to a missionary Baptist church, and of course, there's no big missions thing in that type of small hometown church.
Right.
But my grandmother would take out time, and we were poor, but she would go to the nursing home and she would paint fingernails and bring food. Or if there's a guy that was living in an abandoned house that I didn't even know about, but she would go take him food. So my grandmother took care of everyone. And, she wasn't the type of person that let everybody knew what she was doing. It was done in secret. And when she passed away, like so many people came forth saying what she had done, and none of us even knew. So just watching her raise other people's children, feed the homeless, take care of the elderly and the widows, it is just something that was instilled in me as a child. So when I left my hometown of Port Gibson, I knew that I wanted to do mission work when I was in college, and I got an internship in India.
Wow.
And I spent 10 weeks in India doing research in toxicology.
Wow.
And I never thought that I would be able to go overseas, but that was my first experience. I was like, I can do this. So I was looking for a church home, and I moved to Ridgeland, and I started going to Pine Lake Church. And they had a complete missions team, and like they had it together. But it was so expensive. And I had just like not too long gotten out of college. So I was like, man, it won't be for me.
Wow.
So they do have like missions that you can do around the city. So I started serving small at the mustard seed, or going to help build houses, little small things that I could do. Working in the student ministry, or working with the preschoolers, the babies, whatever it was that I could do, I was serving because I love to serve and I love to give. And so in 2020, the opportunity came where we gave money at the end of the year. Well, it was 19.
Wow.
And so the pastor decided the extra money he was going to put towards missions.
Mm.
Going to Africa was $500,
Wow.
because the pastor had, well, the church had spent so, like, paid so much money that it paid the majority of the trip. So I hopped on it.
I know that's right.
$500. I was like,
Right. The
Africa.
whole bag right there. Take
So
me.
take me.
Yes.
Did everything. Well, I already had my passport.
Right.
My daughter was 12 at the time, so
Mhm.
I got her passport. My husband at the time, we
Mm.
all went as a family.
Wow.
And so in 20, it got pushed down because of COVID and stuff like that. But we finally got a chance to go in 23, and
Wow.
it was amazing.
Mm.
Like, being in Africa, standing on the land, like, we didn't know what to expect
Wow.
because it was kind of new with Show Mercy, but
Mhm.
it was just amazing. And so we met the people, and they were like, "You are welcome," and we
Mm.
just felt immediately like attached to this place in Uganda. And the people, they're so loving and so encouraging. And so at Show Mercy International, they set up a schedule for you.
Mhm.
And so there are outreaches. So that's where you go out and you serve in different places. Like, you go out into the community, and there
Mhm.
are so many outreaches with teen moms, prison ministry, the
Mm.
elders, medical, anything you could think of that you want to do. You can go out in the mission field and you can do it in Uganda. And
Wow.
so I've been back 4 times.
That's
God,
amazing.
God has just made a way financially, and He keeps making a way.
Wow.
And as long as He calls me, I am going to keep going back. But we're going to Colombia together.
Yes.
So that's new for me, new country, new experiences. But like you said, we've done evangelism at church on Saturdays, and it can be intimidating walking up to people to
Right.
share the word, because a lot of us fear rejection.
Mm.
But in my experience, even here, as I've done it at Word of Life, God leads the way and He opened doors. And a lot of people, they want prayer. Like,
Yeah.
we're in this world and a lot of stuff is going on. A lot of people have things going on. And just to see somebody friendly coming up to them, you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
And I've had a lady share an experience about her husband dying, and
Mm.
we just sit down at the table and just had a conversation. And
Right.
how amazing is that with everything we're going through in America right now?
Right. Right.
To just sit
That's
down
so.
with real people, minister, and pray together.
Mm. I love it. I really love finding out that you basically have naturally started this journey as a child, and that it is hereditary to give, because truthfully there are so many people in the faith that have salvation and they only give when necessary, like when it's mandated upon, pastoral staff, when it's Christmas time, when the
Mhm.
office says, hey, let's gather up for this nonprofit, but to have a heart posture or come from a family lineage where it's just natural, like outside of church, we're going to give to others. And so for you to see that And you said something very key that some people don't really talk about, the privacy of giving. Because, in the Bible, I know it says something like, don't let your left hand know
Mhm.
what your right hand is doing. And when you give, I often believe, like, even with Girls in Grace, there are often times where I publicize, we gave, and then there are moments where I don't, because authentically I want to keep the genuineness there, because I don't do it for applause. I just do it for awareness. But at the end of the day, it's your heart posture when you give. And so I'm
Mhm.
very I love that, because some people only give when they have a platform. Some people only give when they have a mission trip. So I appreciate you for sharing that about your childhood, and then to know that you were so young to have an opportunity to go to India, all the way from Port Gibson, Mississippi. Like, can you just briefly share with us your mental state? Like, did you think this was impossible? Or did you get scared? Like, oh my gosh, are they gonna like trap me? Like, you know how all these little stuff be popping up in our culture, and they be like, "Girl, you go over there, you gonna get snatched." Like, what? Who told you that? You know Indians? Because I ain't heard that.
Yes, definitely. I was told all of that with my family. Why are you going? My family cried. Like,
Oh
they were like, I don't want you to leave. You're not going to come back.
wow.
And I guess I mean, of course I had some thoughts about it, but I was so excited because we were going to see the Taj Mahal.
Wow.
And I grew up in that time where they would send you that little encyclopedia
Mm-hmm.
DVD for the computer or CD-ROM, and I would go through the encyclopedia just looking up different places around the world.
Mm,
And I wanted to go experience that, and I was not gonna let anything or anybody hold me back.
that's good.
And at the time, I wanted to be a doctor, so I wanted experience outside the country. Like, I wanted to fill my resume.
Mm,
So my family was very against it, but I was just excited to go. We went as a group of 10, and I talked to anybody. Like, I went, I didn't know the culture, I didn't know the language, but
wow.
I would go up to people and I would have conversations, and I met people and I made friends, and I just had an amazing time. I indulged in the culture, bought a sari,
Wow.
dressed up in their culturistic attire. I
Mhm.
ate food. I didn't complain. I love Indian food.
Wow.
And ended up actually in 2025,
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Okay.
on a mission trip to India. I
Wow.
went back to India and I hadn't been back in 20 years. It was like 20 years. So I feel like God did that full circle. And
Mm-hmm.
he has given me the encouragement. And when I went to show mercy in Uganda this summer, I didn't go with the church. I went alone. So God definitely sets you up. And yeah, there are those things that people tell you you're going to get kidnapped, you're going to catch something and die, because I caught malaria this summer in Uganda. But one thing one of the girls told me when I was sick and I was like, I'm not going to make it. And
Mm.
she said, have you fulfilled what God has called you to do?
Wow.
I said, no. She said, you're not going to die. So
Mm.
until you fulfill your purpose,
That part.
nothing's going to happen. Like, we have to have
Mm.
faith that we're covered. Like, we can't have faith for other people. One thing my grandmother said before she died with COVID, the last thing she said to me, she said, you can't have faith when things are good and then worry about it when things aren't going good. You got to have faith. So, regardless of what the situation is, you got to trust and believe that God is going to cover you at
Mm.
all times, in all places.
That's good. Yeah, no, that gave me chills because I needed to receive that. I literally just read Hebrews 11 where it talks about faith, and in that chapter there there's names of the people, Noah, Moses, all the people that had to implement and walk by faith. And so I received that because, for our upcoming missions trip, I literally wrote down on my card, I was like, I've flown before. I'm just kind of nervous with the longer duration of flying, and then the experience of just being somewhere like I know I'm miles and miles away from home, because I ventured out, and my mom and father allowed me to go out of state for college. So I've been away for over 7 years. So I know what it feels like to be distant. But when I had like classmates that were international students, and they would talk about like, oh, I can't go home unless it's Christmas or this. And I was just like, child,
Mhm.
that's too long. I can't imagine being that patient, for that. And so I'm very intrigued about like what God will teach me and show me, because I'm sure with your experience in mission trip, you always expect to do, or your first time, you probably expected that you would make a change, and then you
Mhm.
left feeling changed. Like they changed you, your perspective has changed, your walk with God has changed. So what was your like first mission trip? Was it to Uganda?
My first international
International?
was, was to Uganda.
And did you leave feeling like they changed you, or was it an equal experience? Or what could you say to people that have kind of like this, um, like I guess like this momentum of like I gotta go because I'm going to change the world, and change the world means I gotta go across the world. And then it's like when I get there, how to have an open heart. Like it may not be all the glitz and glamour that you think it would be. Like how to stay open and receive. Like what did you have to go through with that process?
I mean, most definitely. I'm like, you when you think about Africa, you think about those old commercials.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the kids with the flies and the big bellies, and like you said, I'm going to save some people. But
Mm.
in actuality, we don't do the saving. We plant seeds.
Yeah.
We're vessels. So that mindset should definitely just go out the window.
Right. Right.
And you just never know what God has waiting for you on the other side. So
Right.
my first time going, I met Susan and Claire, and
Mm.
they were both powerful
Mm.
prayer warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched them as we went out into the field, and how they would talk to their people and bring them to faith, and how they celebrated. Because my first year, I watched a lot. I just sat and I watched.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I watched how my child,
Mm-hmm.
that not biologically mine, but I am taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
and me and my husband had just taken her in,
Mm-hmm.
and she was struggling with some traumas, and how she just went and explored. Like she went on mission, like the mission field on her own. Like she left
Oh,
for her own people. Like she got her some people over there, and
wow.
she left us. And she was doing lunch programs with the kids, feeding
Wow.
kids. And when we would come back to devotion, how she would talk about how she felt changed, and how
Mm,
different and accepted she felt while she was there. Like to see God move in such a powerful way in my child, not just myself.
mm,
Sit and listen to we met this elderly lady named Miss Christine,
mhm,
and she was a grandmother
mhm.
taking care of her grandchild, and they call grandmothers Jaja. So
Oh,
she was taking care of her grandchild that had a disability.
mm,
And she's worried, like she doesn't have money. She has her own issues that she deal with. What is going to happen to my grandchild when I'm no longer here? Who is
right.
going to take care of her? And being grateful that someone from another country has come just to sit down and have a conversation.
Right.
Just imagine someone from 8,000 miles away coming
Mm,
to your home
right.
just to pray for you
Right.
and spend time with you. Like that's
Yeah.
special.
Right.
And I think during that trip, I met a teen mom she had a child very young,
Mm,
and she was embarrassed. She was ostracized. Of course, the woman is, the men are never.
Never.
Her family was talking about her to sit there and encourage her and
Mm.
tell her that you are not your situation. You are not your
Mm.
mistake.
Mm.
This child may have not come when the world thought it was appropriate, but God
Right.
knew exactly when this child was going to come,
Right. Right.
not mistake. And
Right.
God has something for you and this child, like
Mm.
future for you and this child. And
Wow.
to see her just light up,
Mm.
play games with her and paint her fingernails, and to
Mm.
just see the smile on her face that we were just there, it
Wow.
just does something to you
Mm.
to go out and meet a woman that had to bear her child and come back to her shack because she's living in a literal shack and they
Mm.
have stolen all of her stuff.
Mm.
And to, one of the ladies had brought her a skirt and she was just like pray like on her knees, like giving thanks, like how it makes you think about how blessed we are
Right.
and how ungrateful we are.
Right.
How we
That's
don't give thanks and, be gracious. Like it just makes you think about where you are in life and how you just don't like we complain every day about something, and
something.
there's so many people out there that
Yeah.
that's just thankful for a skirt.
Mm.
So it
Wow.
does change it does change you, and it makes you want to do more when you get home.
Right. Right. And bring awareness to like that gratitude. I'm gonna be honest, thinking about the upcoming mission trip, I feel like God is gonna convict me with certain words that I naturally say, like, I'm hungry. Child, you don't know what hunger is until you seen world hunger, or I'm tired. You don't know what tired is until you got to leave your little town to walk miles to the nearest hospital.
Mhm.
You don't know the extent of them words until you actually see them being placed in someone else's life and the different. I'm already prepared. I'm preparing myself because I feel like I'm gonna have a new dictionary of words. I can't say I'm hungry. I can't say I'm tired. Because it's a whole new world over there. It's
Yeah.
like you said. I had a friend that he took part in a missionary trip. And he was in South America, and he shared with me. He said majority of those people did not have cars.
Mhm.
He was like, I love. He was like, I love cars. He buys sports cars, all the things. He was like, but to see that gratitude, that joy in the simplest things, and they can't even drive themselves to the store. He was like, that just changed me. So many people find satisfaction in materialistic
Mhm.
things. We find just so much security in our class, middle class, high, upper class. Like we find all of those things until you actually meet people that don't have those things or need those things to feel secure. And so I'm looking forward to God like changing my perspective and just hearing how the main thing that I hear from your experience that mission is all about is just outreach, reaching a person, connecting with them, letting God use you to speak to them, letting God use them to connect with you and just share stories. I think that that's pretty much the calling that we all have. So when it comes to like the young women that are listening to this podcast,
Mhm.
what can you say to them on how they could start supporting missions, whether that's like in their local community or like you said, supporting a church and starting to travel international, or even if they can't afford going international, are there organizations or things that they could do to help like pack food or different things like that to just support outreach? What advice would you have for that?
Well, we live in the Jackson metro area. There's so much out there for us to do,
Wow.
and so many amazing places where you can go serve. So I take my students if they score 5 on,
Mm.
on their third benchmark, I take them to go serve.
Wow.
And we've served at Mississippi Food Network where they're packing boxes
Right.
with people who don't have a lot of food so they can come get 2 boxes depending on how many people are in the family. There's one of my favorites, Shower Power in Jackson, where Miss Teresa has a truck set up with 2 showers, and people donate clothes and shoes and little foods that you can what do you call them?
Like travel.
Non-perishable items.
Oh, non. Okay.
Toothbrushes, towels, stuff like that. But you
Wow.
can also go and like serve food. You can
Mm-hmm.
go and get them an outfit together, which is something I like. I like to get clothes. Okay, this is what size they wear. Let me see how I'm gonna put an outfit together and some shoes for them. And they go and take a shower. You get
Wow.
to sit down with the homeless in our community and have a conversation with them,
Mm.
build a bond with them. That's an amazing outreach that's in our community right now.
Okay.
That's growing really fast.
Wow.
Um, I've talked to a guy at Pine Lake, and I've served at the Mustard Seed where you
Mm-hmm.
have they do different things there. The last time I went there, we were putting down grass so
Wow.
that we have like a better landscape. Like you never know what the need is, and you may not think you have the trade to do these things, but
Right.
there's people that have that experience that will teach you.
Mm.
So there's so many outreaches that you can go in this community and serve. Girls and Boys Club. We have kids that need people that can be a big brother,
Right.
sister to them, because a lot of times they're at home alone. Their
Yeah.
parents are off working and they're getting into trouble.
Yeah.
Tutoring services. If you are a teacher in math,
Mm-hmm.
you come teach my kids for free.
Yeah.
Their parents can't afford it, you know. And so I tutor after school for my kids for free,
Wow.
just so that they can have that extra help. So whether their parents can afford it or not, they can come after school and spend an hour, and I feed them.
Wow.
Because I'm hungry, Miss Robinson. I feed them.
Wow.
So God makes a way and prepares that path. You can come up with your own thing where
Mm.
you go and you're doing something for someone. There's elderly out here that are in sitting at the nursing home and the families don't come visit them.
Right.
They
That's true.
want somebody to come talk to.
That's true.
They just want their nails painted or their hair done.
Yep.
They just want you to sit and play games with them.
Yeah.
There's a list of things that we can do. We
Yeah.
just have to choose where to start.
That's true.
Question.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And it's like, for our young women, sometimes it's not top of mind until they see it on TikTok or their social media. But there are some people that are doing an amazing job with marketing, like how to give. There's also a young man that I watched that, because we just did our back to school event for our young men, and we were giving out free haircuts. And there's a
Mhm.
man online that shows that he just goes into the community and he gives out free haircuts. The first thing he'll say is, did you ask your mom for permission? And so they'll call their mom, be like, Mom, I want to line up. But to me, like, that's community service, because those young men may not have a father or uncle or brother to support them with getting a haircut. And so it's just seeing a need, feeling a need. I know when I was growing up, Stew Pot was such a big
Mhm.
pillar to the community. My Girl Scout troop and I, we would donate our time and serve food. And then for our bronze award, God put it on my heart. I created a project called POM, which stands for Pies on a Mission. So during the holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I had pies donated from my church, and we went to the shelters and gave out pies to the homeless, to those that were in need, because they didn't have like that dessert. Nobody
Mhm.
thought about pies. And me, I love your sweet potato pie, pecan pie, okay, with my holiday food. So that was my favorite project. But just to know, like, the Habitat for Humanity still exists. And just like you said, there's a need in our own community, before you can afford to even reach out to missions. And even just recently, last year, I supported my starving children, feeding my starving children. Is an organization where they pack food for children that are
Mhm.
starving. And so we got our gloves and we literally just made the meal. And even just looking at the meal, it's like, wow, it was simple. Like they just add water to it, mix it, and eat it like cereal in a way, but with water. And it just made me feel so grateful that I could say, oh, I'm having Chipotle today. I'm having this today. Just like you said, the things that we take advantage of or don't see as a blessing. So I hope our girls really pay attention to that and know that they can start today. You're never too young and you're never too old. So I would ask, how should we posture our hearts when we are giving to others? How can we posture our hearts to, like, give to God, give to others, but also how do we give to ourselves? Like, from your experience, how do you take care of all three?
Hmm. That last one I'm struggling with still.
Be honest. No, I understand.
Um, I feel like when we're loving others, we're giving to God because that's what
That's
we're
true.
called to do. When we're giving to others, it's just those simple gestures. Giving sometimes it's just giving time.
Hmm.
Sometimes it is giving money that we don't have. Um, but knowing that God will bless us in that season. And sometimes it's going and cleaning the house or things like that.
Hmm.
Giving to yourself. I That's a great question. I have been asked that question. This is the third time this week.
Really? Wow.
It is. When are you going to give to yourself? How are you going to love on yourself?
Mm,
And like I've shared with you, I deal with depression
mm,
and anxiety. And so it is very hard to love myself when
mm,
I feel unwanted and unloved. And so I was always taught coming up in my community,
mm.
like when it's something that you're lacking, you give to other people. So
Wow.
I love people well because I feel like I lack it.
That
And
part.
I give so much of it. But I'm learning slowly to
Hmm.
love myself
Hmm.
by not real. I mean, cliche, but so realistic because I'm not a person that likes to go get my hair done,
Hmm.
nails. Like I'm not that type of person.
Hmm.
I That stresses me out. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Can you hurry up? Can this hairstyle take 1 hour?
The house calls. They got some. You can get in the house calls.
I don't want you in my head that long because I don't want to sit down. So to love on myself, I've been like, I love to sing. So to
Mm.
put on my worship music and to just, especially when I'm by myself, and my
Yeah.
daughter can attest. They ate. What did your mama listen to? We don't listen to nothing but worship music. You
Yes.
get sick of it, but it's feeling to me.
That's
It's
good.
healing to me, and that's facts.
Mm.
Reading my word, like I'm leading FCA this year at my
Okay.
school,
That's
and
good.
so we had a coaches meeting. That's the first time, and so I was talking to the coaches yesterday,
Hmm.
and we were talking about the Bible app,
Hmm.
and I
Hmm.
was saying like going back to my grandmother, I watched my grandmother pray every night on her knees out loud. I watched her worship out loud by
Hmm.
herself in the kitchen while she was cooking. And I
Mm.
watched her read her word every night. And
Wow.
I can't do that. Like, I don't have the time, but I
Mm.
want to do that. Like, I want to do that.
Mm.
And so I pick up my Bible app, and you know how people do the streaks and stuff on
Mhm.
Snap. The Bible app has streaks.
Yeah.
And so that's my time to get in and listen to the word. It's just one verse and
Hmm.
to somebody, explain for the day. that fills me.
That's
And I
good.
feel accomplished. I'm like, I've done my scripture for today.
Yeah.
And if I don't do anything else, I know I've done something for the Lord and I've been in the word.
Yeah.
But I have started, like, Pastor Joel give out those books,
The series guides. Mm-hmm.
the series guide.
Mm-hmm.
So I've started putting in time with my daughter that's 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to do it a lot of times when I was married, but since I haven't been, we fell off.
Mm-hmm.
So we have started reading together this week.
Wow.
After she's done her homework, I've helped her with her homework.
Mm-hmm.
And we just take time reading and we discuss together.
Wow.
And it's my love language is quality time. And
Mm.
to give me quality time. So
Yeah.
I know she give me. So that's my time with me, her, and God, and
Wow.
quality time. And it fills me. So
That's
I
good.
feel like I am taking care of myself by doing the things that I love and I truly enjoy.
That's good.
And if it's not spiritual, I love to go out to the museums. Like, I love the art museum.
Me too. I have a thing for art.
I love going and just when they have something new, I go out and go to the art museum and just stroll around. I love when they have different events in Jackson and like food, where they got food trucks and stuff like that, like crazy stuff. The
Yeah.
Comic Con, I'm a little nerdy. So things like that, I try to make sure that I go and do new stage theater, take
Yes.
myself out. Me and my daughter volunteers for new stage.
Nice. That's
So
awesome. I didn't even know they accepted volunteers.
yes, you should go. They're looking for some
Okay.
volunteers. And so when you volunteer, you get to go see the show for free.
Wow. Look at that plug. Look at that national plug. It takes a teacher. Teachers are resourceful. It takes a
Okay.
teacher.
Because I'm saving money and enjoying myself, of
And enjoy
course.
yourself. And helping somebody get ready. Get your speech ready. Got you. That's awesome. I like those. I think those are practical, but the reality is like you find what is your niche, what makes you feel good, what honors God, and God definitely tells us that our body is a temple, and when you worship, when you feed yourself with the word of God, that pleases him. And to piggyback off of what you said, I think I've noticed that in my mid 20s that the way that I love hard and passionately give or think of ideas and want to serve others is because I know within myself that's what I would want someone to do for me, like reciprocation. And even when it doesn't happen, like I've lately been telling myself, like, are you truly loving like God? Because his children are oftentimes not faithful to him, and yet he still loves, he still provides, he still shows up, he still gives the exact same love that he gave yesterday. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So that's like a season I'm in and challenging myself to like really aim to love like God. I don't think I could ever like, but oh my gosh, like I'm unconditional all the time, patient all the time. Like I aim to be like that. And I think it helps make my heart soft when I see the impact that it does for others when you do care to give them their time, when you do care to stay after school hours to help that future scientist. No one knows who that child will become one day, but that one step of faith to plant the seed to feed them, how that service will impact others. And oftentimes I just think it's just that's God just really working through us, using us as his children to love like him, to serve like him. Even when you talked about your daughter in Uganda and she ventured off, it reminded me of scripture of how like Jesus left his parents and he was like, "Mother, I'm about my father's business. I'm sorry, this is in Uganda, but hey, what's up? This is my father's business." So I love that. And me personally, like when it comes to self-care, I am the nails girl and the hair girly. So I can't even I can't even lie. That's my thing. But the older that I'm getting, I'm learning because you know how you want to budget and save money. those things are a form of surface level care. But
Mhm.
self care is your heart. So, like, how am I feeding my mind, will, and emotion? So now I like walking, or I like going to conferences that I know will piggy into some of the interests that I have, whether there's art or financial or faith based. So, like, doing things that will build up my mind, my will, and emotion. I feel like that is self care. Because, I always tell my girls, like, who are you beyond the weave, child? Who are you? If they stop selling weave today, do you love you?
Right.
Do you love you? If lashes didn't exist, because they didn't really exist, they weren't even accessible when I was a child.
Me
But
either.
do you love you?
And kids struggle with that too.
Yeah,
Teenagers struggle with that, like, because they want to look a certain way. And
yeah,
I stopped my child. No, ma'am.
yes,
God created you in
yeah,
his image. And when he looked at you,
yes,
he said, very good.
very
So, and she's like, "You're supposed to say that because you're my mom." No, God said that. See,
good. Yes,
don't
it is.
even give me, God said that.
Yeah,
So, love yourself, love your body. Love, like you said, when all of that is gone,
yeah.
what do you have?
What do you
Do
have?
you still look in the mirror and love yourself? And it's from like your heart. I
Yeah.
know that I have a great heart, and
Hmm.
I know that I have a giving heart, and I
Yeah,
love who I am on the inside,
that's
regardless of the outside.
that's
And a
good.
lot of my kids flock to me.
Hmm.
And the beginning of the year is crowding me,
Hmm.
but the my admin said it's something about you, like it's the light that you have within you, to whereas they flock to you.
Right.
And today I was late getting to my class,
Hmm.
and I was outside talking to the custodian, speaking to them, and
Hmm.
every kid that was walking through the door, "Hey, Miss Robinson, wanted a hug. Hey, Miss Robinson, wanted a hug. Hey, Miss Robinson, wanted a hug." And they said, they really love you, don't it? And I say, they're my babies.
Hmm.
They're my babies. Because a lot of them don't have parents. And I say, when you're here, you're mine. You belong
Right.
to me. So they can have a place to belong.
Yeah.
So it's about your heart. And
It
it
is.
shows. And people
Yes.
see that in you.
Yeah, they do. And our theme scripture with Girls in Grace is Psalms 139, verse 14. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And it's often unspoken about the sacrifices that teachers make. I always put teachers under the umbrella of first responders, because you are on the front line every day. My mother is an educator, my grandparents were teachers. And so it's more so of like, you have these individuals for a long period of time out of their life, out of their day, from home, and you are an incubator. Like, one of my favorite movies, I think it's called Freedom Riders, where
Mm-hmm.
the woman went into a school district that was totally opposite of what she was hoping for, and she transformed the whole environment and taught students that they overlooked and just like, oh, they're gonna be dead by 18. And she
Mm-hmm.
kept the system going, and she kept going, and it just really takes spirit-filled pioneers to go into certain places to change it. Like Joshua, being those leaders that change systems and break the ground so that others can be drawn first to God, but also see his light through you. And I'm very grateful that you continue to choose teaching, because it is a pathway to evangelizing to others, like, every single day. And I'm sure you wrestle with, like, I'm tired, when is retirement, all the things, but I pray that God definitely gives you double fold for the obedience to teach and teach his way. Because there's some believers that, where they cross, but don't act like the cross. And I have a problem with that. When I have mentees come and be like, my teacher told me I'm stupid. I dealt with that before in public
Mm-hmm.
school. And it was just like, if I didn't come from a household that prayed, or even that took the chance to have advocacy for me, and be like, she don't really care about chemistry. Can you just teach her, introduce her? We got her tutor, but don't call my baby stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes those spirit-filled leaders to help students enjoy education. Even if students end up being NBA or WNBA players, like they'll enjoy your class because you at least make the learning environment fun and engaging. So thank you for being a godly teacher, not just a good teacher, but a godly teacher. We appreciate the godly teachers. Yes. So I have enjoyed this episode, and we always end our podcast with giving advice to our younger self. So, what would you tell your younger self? It could be a quote, it could be a word of advice, but what would you say to the younger you?
To the younger me, I would say, just look up to the hills from which your health comes from. Your help come from the Lord,
Yeah, that's
because
good.
that is where I have received all of my help.
Mm, that's
Not looking to others, exception, inclusion, because I
mm,
see myself as set apart.
yeah,
I know that God set me apart for a reason. I'm not surrounded by friends. I'm not this. I am set apart. I'm off to myself. And so look to Christ always in everything and seek him in everything, because that is going to be the center of your life. He is going to be the center of your life. Younger me would be okay with that.
yes, I love it. Well, thank you so much. I have enjoyed this episode. I'm looking forward to our trip. I definitely hope to be able to document it so I can show my mentees and just inspire them. Like another, like one of our mottos: if she can do it, so can I. And it's not like in comparison, but it's more just inspiration. Like it's possible. Like sometimes you really have to see who was it that walked on water. Was it Peter?
Peter.
Peter. Why
Mhm.
nobody else followed him? But it just takes one person to just try. And that's what I hope to do and leave behind with this organization. Just try. Stop, letting negative thoughts or your bloodline stop you from just
Mhm.
trying in faith and focus on him. So thank you for your obedience. If you enjoyed this episode, please share, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We look forward to just staying in relationship with Miss Robinson. We adore her. Hopefully, we can have you talk to the girls in person. But until next time, girls in grace, remember that your help comes from the Lord, and you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Thank you so much. We love y'all. Thank you, Miss T.
Thank you.